I just had someone ask me about this particular piece of copywriting software, and it's not AI software. It's like it helps you structure the script to a video sales letter, and it's being pitched by these big copywriters, and he was basically asking like what I thought of it and if he should buy it. And he pointed out that it had a bunch of testimonials from these big name copywriters and marketers, and that, yeah, it looked exciting. It looked like good software. And I told him it was actually probably a bad idea for him to get the software. And in today's episode, I'm going to tell you why I told him it's probably a bad idea, and what you can learn from that, both in terms of the decisions that you make about investing in yourself as a copywriter or marketer, and also some lessons you can learn about marketing and selling along the way. Don't forget to smash that like button, leave a comment with this episode, etc. Give me your feedback so I know that this is connecting with you. And let's dive into talking about this software. These are the proven direct response marketing, copywriting, and entrepreneurship success strategies you can use today to write your own ticket and create the life you want. I am Roy Furr, and this is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Now, here's today's breakthrough. So my criticism of this software is not, it's not about this software specifically. There's a lot of software like it where it's, to put together a script or a sales message, sales letter, or like the AI copywriting software is largely sold the same way. It's sold as this magic pill, like push a button, and it's an easy button for copywriting. It's a big shortcut that, you push a button and boom, you have like world-class sales copy. And here's the thing about these magic pill pitches for the software and for things like that. Magic pill is a great sales pitch. Take this pill, go to bed, you're going to wake up rich. Take this pill, go to bed, you're going to wake up sexy. Take this pill, go to bed, you're going to whatever it is, right? It's a great sales pitch, but I always think about the John Carlton lesson where on one end of the spectrum, you have magic pill, take this pill, go to bed, wake up rich, wake up healthy, wake up sexy, wake up with the relationship of your dreams, etc. Magic pill on one side, cold hard reality on the other side. And cold hard reality is very hard to sell. So instead of, take this pill, wake up rich, press this button, have this amazing sales letter, you talk about the months and months or years of like development as a copywriter and the months that it takes to go through and crank out a great script of all this stuff, like all of the work and effort involved, all the learning involved, all the development involved. Or, health-wise, like take this pill, wake up healthy, wake up fit, wake up strong. Either the cold hard reality is when you do take that pill, it's steroids and it destroys your health, or it's some kind of speed and it destroys your health or whatever, or it doesn't work. And the real secret is, consistent work in the gym, consistent good choices with your diet, with your food, all of these things. The cold hard reality is most often, okay, there's a lot more work involved than is being promised. And the reality is, even those things that I mentioned, like steroids or speed or whatever that may create these health transformations as a real magic pill, they're not a magic pill. They make you sick in other ways. Nothing beats actually putting in the work. Nothing beats actually like learning how to accomplish the thing, learning the fundamental principles involved, and practicing those principles until you're really good at it. And the thing that really sucks about this is these magic pill promises of like, this script software that's going to make you crank out these amazing VSLs. They can actually keep you stuck. They can actually take you backwards in your development, because when you rely on them, when you're bouncing from one shiny object to the next, when you're just like, I believe that this is what I needed, and then it doesn't work, and now you're disappointed and you're kind of like giving up because things were not as easy as you hoped. And then, I believe this is what I wanted because this person makes a really good promise and has all these testimonials of all these great marketers, right? Or all these great people in the industry. That keeps you stuck. It can take you backwards. It can lead to a lot of disappointment. It can lead to you dropping out. It can lead to just things not going like they could for you. if you actually realized that, yeah, pretty much any result that you want in life is achievable, and it's going to take way more work than any of those magic pill promises, lead you to believe. So specific to this copywriting software, the way that I actually see it working is something along the lines of the statistical concept called reversion to the mean. So basically, you can think of average as this gigantic magnet, okay? And in statistics, like there's all this study of how data like plays out throughout the study, whatever. And there's this concept that average is kind of this big magnet, and that people who are outside of average or events that are being measured that are outside of average, like it tends to get pulled towards, or the group's performance tends to get pulled towards average over time. Now that's a vast oversimplification, and a statistician could probably poke a million holes in that description, but it gets to the point that I want to make here, which is this software, it actually probably makes bad copy better, but not good. And it probably doesn't help great copy, but it might actually hurt it. So I've talked about this in the context of peer reviews too before. Like, the great thing about a peer review is if you have a group of people who are very good copywriters, and then they help review like maybe a new copywriter's copy, that's going to pull the quality of that copy up to something closer to the average of the group. But if you have copy that is really innovative and unique and very different than that group is used to seeing, and it might potentially be much better copy, there's also the potential that groupthink that's involved in that peer review might actually pull that copy down by doing things like, instead of making the copy be interesting and different and unique and having it really stand out, making it feel more like every other piece of sales copy out there. Like, oh, you need this headline to be this way. You need whatever, fill in the blank for old copywriting rule that may or may not work the best in that circumstance. So bad copy is made better, but not necessarily good. If you want these softwares to work, if we're talking about the softwares like as the magic pill, you still need to be a good copywriter. And so it's like, it's that saying of garbage in, garbage out. So the software asks you a bunch of questions about your product, your service, your offer, your message, whatever, right? It asks you all these questions. And if you're just putting a bunch of bad copy, bad ideas into it, it's going to spit out basically better arranged garbage. It's going to spit out bad copy to you that is arranged better, that might feel a little bit better, but won't necessarily make your bad copy good. It might make it better because it's better arranged. It follows the right structure, but it's not necessarily going to make it good. And great copy, so many times great copy looks and feels different than everything in the marketplace. And so copy like that isn't necessarily helped, and it might be hurt. The advantage for copywriters who are able to write great copy of things like this is speed, the ability to get ideas out of your head fast. And the same thing applies for like frameworks and outlines, which I actually use. I use frameworks and outlines to write my own copy. Sometimes, not always, but I write them because of the speed at which they allow me to get ideas out of my head. And so software like this, for somebody like me, could be an effective way to just get a bunch of ideas out quick, have them arranged in a pretty good fashion, and have a really good first draft. Now, the thing about a really good first draft is it's probably not what it needs to be in order to be published, in order to be the best that it can be. But getting that first draft on the page is highly advantageous. And oftentimes for me, actually, I've said this in the last few days in a prior episode, getting that first draft on the page is often the most difficult thing for me. And so if you are a good copywriter already, and you're able to use a tool like this or a framework like some of them that I teach, and get the ideas out of your head quickly, then you're going to, then you're just going to have a first draft that you can work with and work from to create that finished copy that you want. And it is worth remembering here that fill in the blanks copy fill in the blanks copy, which is largely what these softwares or whatever are doing, are usually Mad Libs at best, like that old game where it's, insert a noun and insert a whatever, and then you put it into the sentences and it doesn't make sense or it sounds really funny. Well, that's not really how you want your copy to look and feel. And in fact, your prospects probably won't buy if that's how your copy looks and feels. So if you are actually interested in maybe going after software like this and trying it out, if you want to use software or templates or frameworks, including my own, right? What's important is that you actually have to become a pretty good copywriter first. You have to understand the messaging. You have to understand how to create the input that is going to generate quality output. So you have to understand the deep psychology of effective like selling and copywriting. You have to understand what is behind the messages. You have to understand the structure of how VSLs and other long form sales messages are structured in such a way that they capture the attention, that they build interest, that they stimulate desire for your product or service, and that they encourage the person to they get that person to take action. So you have to understand that structure. You have to understand big ideas and like what moves markets. The ideas that you're putting into the software is going to dictate the quality of the copy that comes out of it. And so if you don't understand how to come up with good big ideas, the copy that's generated is just going to feel like just run-of-the-mill, boring and like derivative sales copy. And that's not what actually generates big responses. You have to understand story selling. You have to understand how to actually get your story or your product story, your service story, your customer story into copy so that people will resonate with it and want to respond. And really, I mean, what it comes down to is you have to understand how to write copy if you want to use one of these tools to write copy. And that's when the tools become effective. That's why so many of the testimonials for these things, well, there's a few reasons, like JV partnerships, etc., can be reasons why so many testimonials are from like great copywriters and marketers. But also those are the people who already know how to create the input that makes the output effective. And so that's why those people love software like this, because they understand it. And everything that I've said up to this point, like for them, it's not so much a magic pill. It's just an effective tool in their toolbox. They don't need software to create great copy. The software is just that great tool that they can make the most of. And so once they have that, then of course they're going to love it because it just helps them do what they do well, faster, easier, and maybe more effectively. And so if you want to build that framework, if you want to build that foundation, that groundwork for everything that it takes to be able to use tools like this effectively, or just to be a really good copywriter, a really good marketing copywriter, you need to learn. You need to do some of the hard work. There's a little bit of cold hard reality here that if you want these tools to work for you, you have to be the type of person and have the type of thinking that's able to make these tools work. And so things like my high velocity copywriting program and story selling masterclass inside my BTMS Insiders training library, those are things that are going to help you be more effective at that. And those are the things that you're going to need if you want to be able to either just write the copy from scratch, which like once you've gone through my stuff and you have the frameworks, you may not have any advantage to going with these tools. When I sit down to write copy, I don't go to some script software or something. I use the frameworks that are in my mind and the frameworks that I've built, the frameworks that are in some of my training. The 6-step belief shifting framework is another great one there. Like all of these are great frameworks that you can then use to write copy as fast as if you were to use one of these softwares, because it just tells you what you need to say and you're going to be able to put it in there just as easily as you would be able to put it in the software. And so I'll include a link to those as well as to my BTMS Insiders All-Access Pass information. It's like Netflix, but for copywriting and marketing training. So you pay one low fee, you get access to all my training, and you can just stream it all immediately, binge it, whatever you want, right? Like Netflix. So I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Don't forget to leave tap that like button, leave a comment, everything you can do to engage. Let me know what value you're getting out of this. I aim for every episode to be a value bomb. Thanks for tuning in for this episode. One last time, I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Check out the links in the description, and I'll catch you again in the next episode. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.